How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to CNC Auto Works. As promised in our last video of replacing this taillight panel on the 69 Fastback that my little brother's dubbed the Castback, we're going to be replacing these quarters. One of the reasons is just these I really don't know, other than these 69 scoops. These quarters are actually brand new. You can tell where somebody has did their own take and welding these in. But the main reason we're gonna get rid of them is somebody has came in here. These quarters started life as 70 quarters, and somebody's came in here and put the scoops in. The other side wasn't done too good. It's gonna be fairly easy for us, because they're not just real attached. You can see here, all the inner structure is new because they did convert this to a Fastback. You can see here, they drilled holes to plug weld, and they never plug weld them. So there's just a couple of little tacks actually keeping these in here, and along with cutting the top here. But what I got here is some of the tools that you're gonna need to do a job like this. Some people like to drill out all of the factory spot welds. You need to use a drill bit, or a lot of people like to use these spot weld cutters. I've never had any luck. We always break them. 1 or 2 spot welds in, they're trash. Really my go-to is I just use an air chisel. It just kind of tears the metal, especially if the quarters rotted out and rusted. It just tears the metal, and then really just going back, you just need, some clamping devices. To get started, a lot of people like to brace up the inside of the car, just because these cars are unibody and they do move really easily. They'll usually put a crossbar in here to keep anything from moving. But to be honest, on this car, that's the least of our worries. So I didn't even spend the time or money on material to actually brace this thing up, because everything that's been done to this car with the Fastback conversion, and then talking to the guy that originally started the car, they actually had the whole front end off of this car. So I'm not even real sure that anything's square or straight or what have you anyways. So by us cutting these quarters off and not bracing anything, we might even be doing the car a favor. It might even be straightening something out, I don't know. But I don't have a whole lot of confidence in any of this anymore. It don't seem like just a whole lot of it's right. So we're just gonna skip that step. But if you got a factory Fastback car that's pretty solid, you definitely probably do want to brace it, because it can cause some sagging. I've seen some people do it. You can see over here on the other side, we went ahead and got it done already. Went ahead and done this side off camera, just because a lot of the inner structure wasn't right. We had to cut a lot of it loose. Like I say, they replaced a bunch of sheet metal on the inside, the inner fenders, but it just wasn't right. It wasn't set in there right. The inner fender didn't follow the outer fender or the quarter. So we wound up having to cut all that loose and kind of reshape it to where it would follow. And then as you can see, we did get a set of doors. CJ Pony Parts was having a Labor Day sale, and we just couldn't resist. It was cheap enough. We was able to get a couple of doors. That's one thing that you're actually gonna want when you're putting the quarters on here, is you want a set of doors, and you want to get them lined up with your, what we did is we just lined it up with the actual rocker on the bottom, made the gap good, made it nice, and kind of lined it up with the door jamb. And then we was able to line up the new quarter with the door. And another thing that you're gonna want is these little quarter panel extension pieces. You're gonna want these up on here. You're gonna want to test fit this. And before you even think about doing a job like this, be prepared to put this quarter panel on 100 times. You're gonna want to test fit it 100 times. You're gonna want to get it all right. You're gonna want to line things up. You're gonna have to trim. This is aftermarket parts. They just don't fall on. If you want it to look right, you're gonna have to test fit, trim, test fit, trim. Don't get carried away. Take your time, because it's a big deal and there's a lot of money that could be lost doing something like this. That quarter panel that was actually on this side, they didn't line up the quarter panel extension piece, and the quarter panel was actually sticking out like an inch, inch and a half more. It matched up on top, but as it got down here around the bottom, it was sticking out about an inch from the quarter panel extension piece, and it looked terrible. And the quarter panel extension piece was all lined up with the factory, but when it got down here, it was just the quarter panel stuck out way, way too far. And we actually had to come in here and trim the car out, and we had to trim the quarter panel. You see how thin we got it here? It was actually probably another inch of material here that had it all kicked out. But we finally got it all fitting right. I think it looks good. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get on it, get on the other side, and kind of show you what it takes to get one of these things on there and looking halfway decent. The door does line up pretty good as far as this way. I guess when they stamped this quarter, it's got a slight dent right here. And it's kind of unfortunate. It don't follow perfectly. I'm gonna have to use some filler to kind of bring that back probably, or I was gonna try to knock it out, but I didn't feel comfortable with it. I figured it was gonna stretch something and mess up something else somewhere else. So I'm probably just gonna use a little light coat of filler just to bring that back around. Hopefully the other side ain't quite like that. See, we got it all lined up decent down here. And as far as our door gap, you can see that it's not perfect. And that's just kind of some of the things that I was talking about. We're all out of adjustment on our hinges. And we had a little bit of a hard time when we built the coupe. And we did have to shim the door back, and that's gonna be the case on this. I don't know if this is just a factory deal or if this came along with some of the conversion. I really don't know. The gentleman that started this conversion had a set of doors on here, and I'm assuming that he had it all lined up and the gaps were nice, but you never ever really know. This might be some people's normal, but it's not my normal. I like my gaps a lot tighter than that. I like about an 1/8 inch gap, and it's getting closer to almost a half here. So we're probably gonna have to make some shims and shim the door back, or try to slot some holes where we can actually get this door back a little bit. And that's okay, because we've test fitted the fender, and the fender has a ton of adjustment to come back towards the door. It's all out of adjustment going forward, so we'll be able to suck that door back and get the fender on it still. Now to start this other side, what we're gonna do is go ahead and get the door put on and just kind of see how it lines up with the quarter panel that's actually on here right now. And then after that, we're going to get to cutting this one off and putting the new one on. So we went ahead and threw the door on, and turns out it fits pretty good on this side. So this is kind of how I like my gaps. I like them about like that. The gap's a little off up here, but it's because when they put this quarter scoop in, you can kind of see how it's notched back there. That's why that gap's a little bigger right there. If that would have been the factory quarter, it would have followed that door perfectly. But now we got the door on there and lined up, we're going to start cutting some of these spot welds out. And what I like to do is on these plug welds, after you do it at, like aftermarket wise plug weld, I like to just take a plasma torch and just go ahead and cut a circle to blow that plug weld out. Now, if you're doing a factory car, it's super easy just to use an air chisel and just go down through there, and the air chisel just cuts right through them welds. But you'll have a weld, spot welds all in the door jamb here. You'll have them all around the fender well. It's all spot welded. And then you'll have them back here. And once we get all that loose, what we did on the other side is we actually just laid the new quarter, up on top, and one of us hold it, and the other one just uses it as a line to plas cut the top of this quarter across there. Our new quarter is a lot wider up here than what these were. I don't know if they trimmed these down to just leave more of the car, but we went ahead and just used the whole quarter that they sent us. The new quarter's actually got some holes in it, and I'm assuming that's so you can just use like a self-tapping sheet metal screw just to kind of set it up there and hold it into place. And that's exactly what we done. But that's enough talking. We're gonna jump in here and get this thing off of here, and hope you can take something from it if you've never done this before. Honestly, I've never done it to one of these. I've never really been brave enough. I'll usually just you know, patch the rust with patch panels, because I've never really wanted to tear up a car of a fastback caliber. But on this one, like I say, it's to the point that it just really don't matter. So we're gonna tear into it and we're gonna let it rip. Kind of see here where I use the plasma cutter to actually cut out the plug welds. Luckily there wasn't any up in here. You can see everything's super loose already. And there was a few hidden plug welds back here that I didn't see before. Kind of mangled this quarter. It could be hammered back and reused, but I don't know what we'd ever use them on. He don't like the scoops. He just ran to get the other quarter. We're going to put it up here, use a sheet metal screw to hold it, and then we're going to cut across here with the plasma and get that get this one off and get the new one ready to come on.
You've been talking about patience, hoping for everlasting. You're known for talking crazy. I know it's infatuation. You know I feel inside. You know what is real, and I rock with your vibe, but I don't think that we should tie. I know, for real, I'm the deal. So please set me free. Just let me be. I know, for real, I know the deal. So please set me free. Just let me be.
Go ahead.
Just let me be. I got a lot to say. I hope you don't feel no way. I hope you don't make the same mistakes when you blow the flame. You're kind of obsessive to me. You're kind of too strong on your feet. I can't say that I guarantee, but I know what you mean to me. I know, for real, I know the deal. So please set me free. Just let me be. I know, for real, I know the deal. So please.
Now that I got the quarter off, got it all cleaned up and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and spray it with some of this Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer. It says it instantly converts rust to a protective, sandable surface, paintable. Go ahead and spray it all and get it all ready for getting unrusted. And shake it a little while.
Once you get your quarter panel kind of fitted the way you like it, and like we said, it's going to take some time because, you know, the aftermarket. But what we like to do is all your mounting flanges and your edges, we like to drill holes in them. So once we get it on there, we can just plug weld all these, and it kind of winds up making it like the factory did it. You can see all these plug weld holes we're gonna have here. Like I say, we got these quarters from CJ Pony Parts, and I don't know exactly how they're supposed to fit because, you know, this car really ain't what it's supposed to be. But it does take some doing. It takes a lot of trimming, and it takes a lot of patience. But we've got it close. We like it. We're gonna get it on the car, and we're gonna start welding this puppy on.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay, won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. Coming for the throne. Never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it, I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall, I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. Storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay, won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running.
Oh, sorry, good for nothing GoPro went, dude. Didn't get to record much of the quarter panel installation, but got it all on there. Got it welded, grounded on, and seems to be pretty good. It's flat and smooth for the most part. Got it welded on the inner fender too. Welded off inside here too, inside the door jamb. Got a couple of them grounded, still need to ground like 3 of them, but other than that, it's on here, solid, straight as good Chinese parts can be.
Solid is a loose term.
What do you mean solid?
Solid? You said it's solid?
It is
You're
solid.
using that
It's solid-ish.
really loosely.
Oh.
But anyway, it's starting to look like a car
Yep.
for the first time since he's bought it. Surprisingly, we did get everything to start lining up a little better. Might show them the other side. It's lining up a little better than what it was.
Lines up pretty good.
Everything's just kind of loosely fit on there right now. Just because it's got to come all back apart. But if you ever need to put a set of quarter panels on, and you got a little know-how and a welder, preferably a MIG welder, I'll probably want to try to attempt that with just a flux core welder. That'd be a little tough. It'd make life a little harder trying to grind everything. But if you got a MIG welder, it's doable for sure. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Until next time, guys, I'll catch y'all later.